It's the Law with Morelli Tritko. Joining me once again is Ben Vandergraat. Hi, Ben.
Hi, Howie. How are you?
I'm doing fine. We've been talking about wills and estates, business and real estate law, and now we're going to be talking about incorporating a business. What does it mean to incorporate a business?
Right. Well, when people do business, Howie, sometimes they're just doing it in their own name, and they might pick a business name, but it's them that is the legal person that's doing the work. Now, an alternative to that is to incorporate, and now it's a company that's doing the work, and the company is what we call a separate legal person. It's got a separate name, so the company is a party to a contract involving the business. A company has the ability to borrow money as opposed to the person borrowing money. The company is, for legal purposes, performing the service, for example, if it's a service-oriented business, even though the owner-operator is the one that's actually doing the work. And so it is the company that operates independently, essentially, from the person who's the owner-operator.
Okay, so why is it a good idea to incorporate?
Right, and this is why it's important to see the distinction between an owner-operator doing business for themselves and doing business as a separate legal person company. And there's essentially three general reasons why it's a good idea. Limitation of liability, people have heard that term, tax benefits, and basically just PR. So limitation of liability, if you're yourself operating your business, owner-operator in your personal capacity, and you do something wrong, something negligent, and someone gets hurt or suffers losses of money or property damage, then the person who they hold responsible is you. And hopefully you have insurance to cover some of those kinds of losses that might come back to you for negligence in the course of performing your business, but you might not. And so negligence is really where you can limit your liability by operating as a company. Now it's not you that gets sued if it comes to that. It is your company, and your company probably just owns the assets in your business. And so if they sue the company and get and take further legal action against the company, it's kind of limited to that if you're not in a position to pay. Whereas if they're suing you personally, and they can come and come after your house and your personal bank accounts and take your car if they get a judgment and things like that. So that's the big difference. People sometimes confuse the limitation of liability with negligence, with the limitation of liability with contract. That typically doesn't work. It's true that if the company borrows money, the company is the borrower and has the obligation to repay the loan. But in almost any case, whether it's borrowing or any other type of contract, a lease or something like that, the company will be the primary party, but the owner-operator will still be a covenantor or an indemnifier, meaning if the company doesn't fulfill its obligations under the agreement, then the owner-operator has to. So it doesn't work so well with breach of contract, but with negligence it certainly does. As far as tax benefits go, you can write off some business expenses when you operate a company that you can't do when you're an individual owner-operator. You can delay tax liability in the sense that the company can generate income which sits in its operating account, but until it's paid out to the owner-operator, either through a salary, for example, or through a dividend declaration, it doesn't become taxable on the owner-operator. Now, you still have to pay the tax, but you can defer payment if you don't need the money right away. There used to be a greater tax benefit as far as what they call income splitting, where small business owners, maybe there's one spouse who's the owner operator exclusively of the business, but they make their spouse a shareholder and pay dividends to the other spouse rather than themselves. And then if one spouse is in a higher tax bracket, you can pay money earned by the company just to the other and sort of keep everybody paying lower taxes overall. Now, the laws on that just changed in 2018, and it doesn't work so well, but it still works if both spouses have a direct role in the operation of the business. So that's a potential benefit. And then finally, as I say, just PR. A lot of people just think that it looks more professional to see corporation or limited at the end of your company name. It's good for reputation.
Okay, we're a little short on time. I think maybe we'll go by the basic structure of a corporation, but what is the process to incorporate?
Yeah, well, typically you will hire a lawyer to assist you. There's a central government administration called the BC Corporate Registry, and that's where companies become incorporated. You start by reserving a name. You pick a name, and you have to get it passed by the registry to make sure that it's not too similar to another name that's already out there. And then after the name is approved, then you put together a structure for shares. Who are the shareholders, and the shareholders, of course, are the owners of the company. They're entitled to dividends, and they receive the payout if the company is sold. And then you elect directors who essentially make all the decisions for the company. They're essentially the managers of the company, and then officers, president, secretary, etc., who are signing authorities, don't have any real decision making function, but again, they're sort of the PR people. So when you're doing business, you want to talk to the president. And after that, you submit everything to the BC Corporate Registry through your lawyer, and it's a done deal. It only takes about a week.
Okay, so what's the difference then between a private family company and a public company?
Yeah, well, 99% of the companies out there are private family companies. That's what we think when we look around Kamloops and see all of our local business people operating. And that's where it's family and close friends just in business together, operating together. And
Ma and pop.
that's right. As opposed to a public company, which simply means stock exchange. And so, of course, not a lot of the mom and pop stuff that we see around town are operating on the TSX.
Are any?
Well,
No.
I don't know.
All right. Thank you very much, Ben.
Thanks a lot, Howie.
Okay, there's Ben Vandergrat, Wills and Estates, Business and Real Estate, incorporating a business on It's the Law.